editing live stream where or where you can submit your images before the live stream starts, and I will edit them here for you live. And I also often give out one of my own pictures for you guys to edit and send back to me. So it's always fun to see what you guys do, and I look at this as a two-way street. We can kind of learn from each other how we edit our photos or approach things. And the main theme between for this stream is really for you to get familiar with the tools in DxO Photolab 8 uh, and how I use them to do different things. And I'm pretty much I keep it pretty simple, right? I open up the image, I do a crop, maybe check the white balance, and then I start doing local adjustments because most of the images you guys have been sending in have been pretty well exposed to start with, so I haven't had to do much there. And also to showcase, the output of DxO Photolab 8, how good it is at reducing noise, sharpening images, and working with the colors. So it is my preferred editor of choice, and it's what I use probably 90% of the time. The exceptions being when I have to layer things like in Photoshop where I work with multiple images at the same time. But that said, I will have my affiliate links down below if you'd like to download a free trial of Photolab 8. And if you make a purchase, I'll earn a commission. And then there's, of course, my donations and coffees and memberships and all different ways you can support the work that I do here. I'm here for you and to answer your questions. So we'll start out with the editing here. And then I didn't get too many this week, so I think we can maybe do a hybrid stream later and do just an open Q&A on anything photography related, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Let me go, excuse me. Let me check the chat section real quick before I go in. So I see Roger's here, Ish is here, good morning, and or LSH, I think it's LSH, right? Because you had submitted an image last week after the stream, I think of a pickup truck. So we'll do that first. And then Jeff, good to see you. And William, good to see you. Roger, Robert. Oh, hey, Robert, how are you? And I see Eric's here and Bert, Norman. Wow, lots of people here. Paul, good to see you. Good to see everyone. So let's go ahead and get into it. Yes, Larry, right? Okay. Very good. So if I can switch. Whoops, not the right screen. That's what I see when I try to go through the chat section. It's like this myriad of windows sometimes, and it's really hard to find questions and things. But anywho, let's go ahead. Oh, let me do one more thing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna make the fonts a little bigger so that you can see the sliders and everything. Uh, okay. That should make things easy. I hate when I click the wrong button. Give me a second here. I need to close this other app down. Okay, so what is that? I can close that. And okay, I think we're good. So there we go. That should be a little easier to see. If I can shrink that down a bit. Okay. All right, so this one here, yeah, I believe this is from Larry. I have somebody parked their truck and never came back, looks like. Wonder if we can see that tag. There's no tag date, but that's cool. Something in Australia. All right, so first I like to just kind of assess the scene, look at all the elements, what information is in this picture that I want to keep. what sort of compositional elements like light, shadows, shapes that I may want to keep. So it's kind of a blend, right? Information and uh, various components. So obviously we have the truck, we have this barrel, we have another barrel, wheel barrel over here. Railing sign. God, it's just weird. Somebody would park a truck here and then just never move it. Okay, we have some strong light in the background, so that we're in the shade here. Okay, so I'm going to apply a basic preset. Excuse me. And here, I like this red gas can. This is a really nice accent. This red gas can, this tail light. And then a lot of stuff over here we don't need. There's a good shadow here. Okay, so I always like to crop first. I don't think we need to see all of this barrel down here. Really nothing on that table. We're going to get rid of that table. Let's get rid of that background. And then let's frame and balance. I'm just trying to balance the frame of all the elements. It's a little bit heavy on the right side, so a little more air. Okay. A little heavy. I need a little more room. A little lightness. Okay, I think that works. Now, let's see if we can. There's still some logs in here. I wonder if those were in there when they parked this thing. Some lettering here. Now, I don't see a way to lead the eye around the picture. I'm going to do some local adjustments. Let me just start with the accents. So, like when I do wildlife, for example, a bird, it's always eyes, beak, and talons, because they're kind of the accents to all the feathers and whatever else. With other things, I try to find similar types of accents that uh, just are kind of interesting things to highlight on the object. What did I do here? Maybe just push the highlights a bit. Midtones, just bring that out. Some micro contrast. Bring out some of the fine details. And let's saturate the oranges. This is a little bit more orange. Let's see. And let's pull off the red a little bit. I want to make the taillight that strong. I want to focus mainly on the gas can. Okay, that's good. I mean, it looks a little odd right now, but I think it'll work out in the end here. And a car or vehicle, usually the wheels and tires are usually a good highlight. Otherwise it'd be like the headlights and grill, right? Uh, Let me just brighten those up a bit and give it some clear view. And we'll pull the blacks, give them a little more contrast. Gosh, looks like I put armor all on the tires. Need anything there. Okay. Now, I want to exaggerate some of this rust in here. There's a little bit of lettering here. We'll probably get, we're going to do clear view and just crank up the micro contrast quite a bit. If we can separate those tones a bit. Okay, good. And I'm going to bring these highlights down a bit too, up in here. Here. Up the luma just a tad. Bring those in. Maybe let's do. Okay. Go back to this. Okay, let me see where I'm at here. So I'm just clicking the compare button. So this is before and this is after. Okay, so good. But definitely have highlighted the things that I want to highlight, brought down the things I don't want, and then add a little light in the back here. Just on the brighter side. I want to see what's in that truck. Maybe warm it up a bit and a little bit of contrast. Okay. A little bit more there. Smaller. That last one is too. All right. And I'm going to darken areas down in here as well. Just around the truck. Smaller. Fill in some of these gaps. And let me see about the white balance. Go a little cooler. Warmer. Okay, a little bit warmer I like better. There. All right. And then globally, I want to desaturate a bit. That. And then maybe do a little bit of toning. Back that off a little bit. Sepia. And just a slight push. Let's try the midtones. Wheels need to be little more light. Hmm. Maybe darken some of this more. Okay, let me go back and push the midtones again. Highlights. A slight push in the shadows. Back to sepia. About there. This off. Just want to give it a slight faded look. Okay, let's add a vignette. Just start in roughly the center. Let's turn the chroma and luma down. Invert it. And pull the exposure down. A little bit more light here. A new one. All right, I think I'll call it there. So, don't need to export this one really. All right, so there's my before and after. So I think you can see I cropped quite a bit. This was just a little bit too dominant in the scene. When you look at it like this, you can see it's almost as big as the truck itself. So it's just weighing too much on the left side. The table didn't really add too much interest to the shot. So I cropped that out. And I think this is pretty nice. A little bit grungy looking. Like I said, with vehicles or really any subject, you always want to try and find accents to the subject that you can use. Uh, wheels on a car, obviously, headlights, taillights. This gas can was kind of interesting, and the wood was interesting. So I wanted to keep these two elements. And then micro contrast across the whole thing to, uh, so that you could see the rust. So let me go back to a single image. When I come all the way in, there's a lot of details here that were brought out uh, that I think just make the image. So this is a great image. Not I'm not saying the editing's great. I'm just saying I really like this image. There's a lot of elements. I might have added a little bit of light here. Forgot about the wheelbarrow. Let me just drop little bit of light onto there. Just a little bit. Okay. So I think that works. Okay, let me go to the next image. Just need to rearrange my screen one more time. Okay. What is this window? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Very good. Thank you, Larry, for sending that in. See what else we got. This one here is from Paul. Looks like a shoveler. So let's see. Apply basic preset. I don't know. I normally do square crops on wildlife, but I kind of like this trail. So I'm going to try and maintain that geometry. Maybe something like this. And there's really good light on this guy. So I don't have to do much except maybe just give it a little more micro contrast. Like that. I don't think I can save these highlights, but I'll try. See what we got here. Not bad. Okay, we got a little bit back. And let's do a control line for the water. We'll tighten up the chroma mask. Minimize the effect on the duck. Oops. Hold on. I have to make a new one. So plus, and then, all right. Okay, and just a slight push here. And let's do some clear view and pull the blacks up there. Do the same thing underneath. Over here. Let's angle that just a bit. I accidentally deleted my highlights. So let's bring those all the way in. Okay. And let me do a little bit on the eye. Right around the eye. And additional contrast here. Right about there. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to export this. I need a little line down here. A little bit of a reflection here. Let me see. What if I go lower or center? Okay, I'm just going to get rid of that. All right. Okay, this one I'm going to export. So the original JPEG. All looks good here. Preserve color details. sRGB, okay. Then let's do compare. Once that's done, yeah. All right, so here's the original on the right. This is the edit on the left. I think we did okay. I mean, we had to crop pretty heavily. The image is just a tiny bit soft, but I think we did the best we can with DxO. Probably could have done a little bit of sharpening just to bring out the feather detail a little more, but you know, compared to the original, I think we did all right. I feel like we need a little more sharpness though. Let me see. Let's do. Did I not download the optics module? Is that what the problem is? Let me see. I think, oh, that's the problem. I didn't download the optics module. I was like, why is this image just a little bit soft? The optics module is really critical. There, now we have got it. All right. Well, let's export this. I don't need as much sharpening now. Okay, hold on. I can back that off and back off this a little bit. Let's export this. My mistake, export. Let's compare it now. As soon as that's done exporting. Oh, okay, that's better. Now we can see with the optical corrections, because the optical correction is not just about distortion, but it's also about the sharpness of the lens. And now I can see much better detail. So we're doing good. So comparing, I had to crop quite a bit. We could probably crop in a little tighter, but I think that's just enough. Okay, let's go to the next one and get the optics module. Oh, this is kind of interesting. Okay, so we'll do a basic preset now. I think a square crop will look good. And then let's straighten this out a little bit. Let's just do adjust this crop. Maybe all we need is a little bit of a rotation. Okay. That looks pretty straight. Okay. All right. Gosh, let me think here. I need to expand this out. Let's start up here. Just add some. Just add some light in places that make sense. To push shadows a bit more. Clear view. And some micro contrast. Okay, this copper in here, let's see if we can accentuate some of the ribbing in the copper in the eye. That looks really good. And I'm going to max out the micro contrast on the eye. Try to really bring out that iris as much as I can. Okay. Now it's going to be really hard to separate this copper tubing from the rest of this bowl. I don't know if I can try to tighten up the chroma really tight. And just a little bit on the luma. It's tough. Very, very tough here. Maybe not that one. Okay. A little bit in here too. I'll come back to the eyes separately. Okay, not bad. Need a little bit more on this one. probably, let me try masking brush. I wonder if, no, that's going to mess it up. All right. Okay. Yeah, I like that. All right. Very good. So we've got that. I want to do a little bit more on this eye. It needs some color, I think. Try some vibrancy. There we go. And then the bull itself, a nice, just an overall contrast. Tighten up the Luma mask a bit. Just crank up the micro contrast. Highlights. Just a touch on the black. All right, very good. Now, the rest of the elements in the image, I don't think I need to do much here. Just give them a little definition. That. And let's add a vignette. So turn those down, invert it. Okay, I think I'll call it there, maybe. Let me go back. Pick my color. Black and white, no. I think we need a little bit more light on the knees. So let me put a little bit here. Here. I wonder if I can, where's my vignette? This one? Maybe, maybe not. I was thinking maybe to try and blur a little bit more around it, but I think that's all I can do there. So let's export that, and then we'll compare it. reset it. All right, so there's the before and after. I think a square crop works. I kind of like the lines here in the floor, but I just decided to go with a square crop. And the idea basically, we have to raise the shadows, right? Because it's a little bit underexposed. But I wanted to separate this copper tubing from the rest of the steel work here the best I can, and I think that works. Then of course bring out the eye. But that's a really cool structure. My God, that thing is massive. It must stand about, man, about 50 feet, looks like. That's pretty big. All right, very good. So, uh, that was from Shakabe. Wow, that's a pretty cool shot there, Shakabe. All right, we got one here from William. William says, I thought I saw something about this. I edited this before. They sent in a new one. So there are two here from you? I only see this one. I don't recall editing this. I mean, it's possible, but I just don't remember. Me, let me just see what's in the image. I don't think I've done this one before. I think I would remember these loops and this fence line. Because the rest of it, yeah, this all looks familiar in here, but this part looks a little unique. But I'll go ahead and edit it since it's here. Okay, let's do a basic preset. And again, I'm going to brighten this just to see what's in there. Let's do a 16 by 9. Like that. And then we can, oh, there's a little graveyard there, it looks like, too. I'm going to get rid of this pole. And bring the highlights down. Give it some clear view. A little bit of a push in the shadows. Okay, I'm going to do the foreground a little differently. Let's just add a little bit of light in here. And that's not. And clear view and contrast. Maybe give it a little more warmth. Okay. Hang up here. There's nothing in there. A couple of specks of stars up here. If I can bring those out a little bit. Oh, I need a new control line. Plus, Just a tiny bit of glow. Give it a warm glow. All right, let me export that. Like, before I export this, let me, if I can do a little bit more, couple of spots. Let me see, a little more color. Brighter. All right. Call it there. So export. Give that a second to render. Oops, sorry, I got distracted there. Let's reset that and do a quick comparison. All right, so there's a before and after. I think the 16:9 works, and I wanted to keep a little glow in the sky, and then also kind of emphasize these rocks. This almost looks like a tombstone down here, but I think that looks pretty good. So let's kind of do a reveal. But yeah, that's a nice shot. Really, really nice shot. Long exposure. I'm trying to think if there's anything I would do differently. I don't think so. I think this is fine the way it is. Composition and settings and everything else. I didn't even look at the settings, but 15 seconds, f16. I might have tried like ISO 100 f8. Like bring your aperture down to f, like maybe f11 or f8, and try ISO 100. You could even go down to ISO 80, because we're getting some maybe f11. The 12 to 40 is not that great at doing sun stars. So that's part of it, right? I don't know. I don't know what the sun stars would look like at f8. Probably not very much. But so maybe f11 and ISO 100. And then you could maintain that 15-second exposure. Okay. Let's see. We did that one. Next one up is from Roger. What kind of optical? Let's see. So this is a picture of a negative taken with the M5 Mark III. And oh, nice. That's a great way to scan your digitals. Okay. So I'm just going to apply a basic preset just for optical corrections and things. And then dealing with negatives, you basically just go into the color. Where's the oh, sorry. Go into the light panel and go down here to this I forget what this is called. The tone curve. And just reverse these like that. Why didn't that work? We'll do that. I just did this last week. Normally, you just do this. Give me a second. I need to think. What am I doing wrong here? That, yeah, that's right. Oh. I got this compare thing on. Okay. I had the compare thing up. All right, so let's do this, then drag this down. So 0 to 255. And let's do a crop. These are 3x2s, typically the negatives. Do a 3x2. And I'm going to assume this thing is white. Boy, somebody's been shooting at this thing. So let's get the white balance right. Let's try over here. Or try this gray. Right here should be a good white balance point. Though it, that's going to have some rust on it. How about here? Or here? That looks about right. I'm just trying to find the most neutral color in the space. I can always kind of tweak it manually here once I start getting the other things in. All right. All right. So it's a little bit overexposed. So, but let's just globally about maybe a third of a stop here. Then we'll do the rest with local adjustments. Be a full stop. Somewhere there, about 2/3 of a stop. And you have to work with all your sliders in the opposite direction. If I want to pull the blacks in, I actually push it this way because we inverted the tone curve. Let's add some clear views, some micro contrast, and a little bit of a greenish hint. I push this back. I'm going to tweak the white balance a bit. Okay. I want to get some contrast in the colors. Well, let me think about this for a second. I pull the vibrancy and push the contrast. Okay. And what colors are in here. This has got this greenish. Oh, desaturate some of these greens and cyans. Not making any difference there. What else we got? We got some other weird color casts here. The red's a little bit of a boost. Are we still in the All right. Now we need to fix the contrast on this. Oof. Wow, this is getting ugly. I'm doing something wrong. What am I doing wrong here? I can't get the white balance right. I'm just gonna go black and white. But I'm not fixing the color cast. We need some more. We need more red. Oh, if I try and shift this. Nah, not working either. What did I do here? Let me reset this. Go in here. All right. Pull that back. Go to the reds. Goes a little bit more red. I'm not having much luck with this one at all. All right, so I'm going to try and keep this in color. Something is... It's just not right. It's just got this casting. I think I'll leave it there. Uh, but there. Man. What am I doing wrong here? All right. One local adjustment, maybe right here. Not going to do any chroma or luma. Bring that down a little bit. Bring this up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I think honestly I would make this black and white because I just can't get the colors right. This is definitely an area I need to expand on and learn how to do better. So if I were to let's make a virtual copy, let me just do one real quick in black and white. It's going to be a little bit different. I think this is what I would do. This is what I'd do if it were mine. This is kind of along the lines what I would do for if it were black and white. Something something like that. But and let's go back to color. Or this. Let me export. No corrections geometry. So clearly this was a tough one for me. I'm sorry, guys. This was a tough one. That's the best I can do there with this negative. I normally shoot black and white negatives. When I did color, I used a scanner with silver, not with silver, but with some other software that would scan the negative and correct color cast and all of that because color negative film has this like yellowish or sort of yellowish color cast to it that this software would correct for, depending on the film stock. So if I knew what the film stock was, it would automatically correct the color cast when you do uh, negatives. But since we're talking about just using your camera to take a picture, there's a, you can't do that automatically. And I'm not that good at just directly editing color negatives like this. But that's not too bad, I guess, right? And then compared to, I think the black and white works best. Plenty of detail there. You don't have to worry about that color cast, all of that good stuff. But if you want, the image was shot in color. That's the best I could do for now. If I spent a couple of days on this, and I might be able to do a better job with this color cast that I'm getting. But okay, let's go to the next one. But that was a challenge. That was a challenge. Let's see what else we got. Okay, we got this one here from John Follows. Okay, we have a jogger. Apply a preset. Which detail we got? Not bad. And not that this is here. Got some kids over here. So there's not a lot of information in this scene other than this person here. And then as far as other elements, these lines, this line, huh. Sometimes I squint to kind of just to sort of simplify the scene in my brain a little bit. We have like this bridge, or not a bridge, whatever, walkway opening up like this. It's a little bit off, so I need to tilt it a little bit. And then to maintain sort of that opening, what I do here. All right, so did I applied my preset, and I don't need the optics module, right? Oh, I do let me get the optics module. I'm sorry. Okay. There we go. I thought something was off. That's better. Now I'm getting better detail. All right. I'm gonna tilt this going a little tighter. Tilt this a tiny bit. I almost want to use this line, but it doesn't really lead to this person too well. It needs to be a bit tighter. What if I'm just being distracted by that thing? No, I want to keep that. I keep that line. Keep some space here. I think that works. I have a little bit of framing here of the runner. And then I'm going to simply brighten this part of the scene a bit more. Okay. And then let me darken globally. That much. Back to her. little bit more of a tilt. I do that. Train wreck. Can't use that. Maybe I'll leave it color. I just like this green on her shoes. Got rid of this boat. I have this building. Wow, that's a tough one, John. I think that's all I can do, though. Let me see. Yeah, that looks all right. So, whoops, my bad. Here's the original. Here's the edit. I just made her a little brighter, cropped out this boat, and then darkened the scene overall. So maintaining the exposure on her. So she kind of stands out a little more. Uh, but I feel like this bridge, this has some potential here, this particular scene. It's just a framing or something is not quite giving it the awesomeness it is, right? Because I really like architecture and geometry. And this has a lot of that to it, but something is not right about how this was framed. For me anyway. So anyhow, we have this person here. I think that's all I can do there is just a little tighter crop. Okay. All right, John, thanks for sending that one. That was, boy, you guys are really making it hard on me today. See what else we got. This, it looks like this one from Jeff Painter. For whatever reason, it didn't get come in at, it's a download error. So I'll check again, but I don't think I can fix this. And we have one here from Bert. Oh, this is the same building. This is a very, I think I've done this building before. Not this particular image, but yeah, this feels like I've done this building before. Okay, so wow. We have a lot of perspective distortions, but let me see if I can. Do I need any more optics modules? No, we got all the optics modules we need. Okay. Oh, there's some cranes of some sort up here. That's interesting. So we need to get a little tighter. I think we can get rid of this top part. Let's go with maybe a square crop. Keep these two parts in here. This statue here and the cranes. A little bit of this window, and then yeah, I don't think I can do any perspective corrections. It's a little bit too much. Okay, and then do a local adjustment here. Basically a perfectly blue sky. And let's give some thought about this side. I got a little bit more dramatic. Vibrancy. Right. And let's just put what I hit plus here. Okay. Let's make this a little bit more brighter. Got some pigeons down here too. If I can highlight these pigeons a little bit more. I think these are stone pigeons. Looks like some starlings up here. All kinds of birds out here. All right, this crop can probably do a little better job. There. Keep this arch. That arch. All right, I think I'll call it there. Be a tiny bit of light on the building. That's right in here. Put it on the face. Okay. Export that. Okay, so there's my edit here on the left, and of course the original on the right. So it's a little bit flat overall because there's some haze because of the strong backlighting. So we eliminated most of that by making the building darker and pumping up the contrast. Then cropping wise, I really like this statue, and then the birds here are also kind of a nice juxtaposition And when you look closely, you can see like bird droppings on the statue. But uh, overall, I kind of like, yeah, I like this shot. Really nice find. It's weird. These birds are just perched. It's like they put this nest up here on purpose for them. Uh, it's kind of a mistake, in my opinion, to put bird nests on a building, but that's what it looks like they did. Okay, let's see what else we got. One here. Oh, we got two from Bert. Okay. Yeah, that looks familiar too, but I'll just do it. I'll do a quick edit on this. This is pretty straightforward. We'll do a basic preset, and I'm gonna do a 16 by 9. Just come in right there. Do a quick clear view on the sky. Maybe just warm it up a bit. Back off the Luma. Have to spread more gradually. If I, no, I don't want that. Okay, I like that. A little bit on the sand. Push the shadows a bit. Give it a little bit of warmth. Oh, sorry, Paul. This one is Paul's. For whatever reason, it said I was hovering my mouse wrong, so I thought I saw Bert twice. Okay, any bit of that and a little bit of micro contrast. Then let's add some light to the rocks. Not too much. Warm it up a bit. And a little bit of work on the water maybe here. Yes. Pull that in. Up in here. Push the highlights. Micro contrast. There we go. A little smaller and move these up a little higher. And a little bit of warmth. This needs something. Okay. Let me export that. Here. That. All right, so my edit there on the left, pretty straightforward. Just had to bring out the details. And a 16:9 crop. On the crop, I just made this one corner. I'm always conscious of my corners. I wanted a corner to start here, and then the horizon's already level, so I didn't do anything here. There's some nice details on these rocks here, right? So let's go to let's go to full screen of my edit here. It looks, it's got all these white specks on it. It's probably bird droppings, but it's a nice texture overall in this frame. And then darkening the water. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So if we do again a side by side, or we'll do a split. There's the original, and then there's the edit. Probably put a little more light on the sand. Make this a little brighter, a little warmer, but yeah, I think that's about 90% of what I would do. All right, I think that's it. Let me just check real quick. If I'm gonna try and download Jeff's image again. Well, and I see you guys have sent a couple more in since then. Let's see. One. Oh, Paul sent his edit in. Wow, it's really close to mine. So let me download that. Download this. That one. Something from Norman here. Looks like it's already edited, so I'll just show it, but I don't think I need to edit it. Then William sent in this one. I think I did one from William today, so I'll let that go. I'll put that in for next week. So okay, I'll just edit this one more from Norman. But let me see. Let me see. Jeff Painter sent in this hawk. Let me try and download that one more time. For whatever reason, that didn't come in. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why, Jeff. I can't. Oh, you know what? Maybe this is because it's from your OM3. That could be it. So let me see if that's the case. Uh, yeah, that's why. It's an OM3. All right, so I'll just change it to OM1 Mark II. Oops. Okay, so Jeff Painter 1. All right, now we're good. All right, Jeff, let me do yours real quick. Birds are, well, birds are pretty straightforward too. So I'm going to apply. All right. Download the module. Okay. Get rid of this one. I'm not able to. Oh, there we go. Apply basic preset. Do a square crop. Come in a little tighter. And let's see. Just wow. So sharp. Brighten up these wings a little bit. A little bit of push here. Okay. That looks good. And then let's just get a little bit extra on the eyes and beaks. And I don't see any talons, so I'm going to saturate them a bit more with some vibrancy. Give it a little bit of micro contrast and a tad clear view. Maybe some more saturation. Okay. And then for the sky, just add a little bit of light in this direction. A little more. Tighten up the. And we can always make the backside a little bit darker. Okay. Let me export that. And then we'll do a quick comparison. Whoops. All right, so here's the original. This is my edit here. There's the original. So I think, yeah, basically some sharpening and bringing up the shadows. And then just a lot of contrast here on the head, right, where the eyes are. I think that looks pretty good. That's such a beautiful bird. But yeah, I think that looks good. Then, of course, just giving the sky a little bit of gradation. All right. I think I downloaded one more new one. This one? One. Okay. Oops. I need the optics module. Ooh, an XH1. Wow, classic. Classic camera. I eyeballed an XH1 for months. They dropped the price down to like, $700 on a used one or something. All right, so let's do a basic preset. And I don't think, let me just do it manually. Bring the shadows up a bit. If I can save some of this sky. Clear view. Okay, Okay, framing wise, not sure what to do here. Let's see what's in here. We have all of these. The right-hand drive car. I love Malaysia. Oh, they're in KL. Or not, this is not KL. This is somewhere else, I think. But yeah, this is in Malaysia. Okay. I've been there once myself. Uh, let's see. I like the light right here coming behind this car. I wonder if I can exaggerate this. Exaggerate it on these people, then pull the exposure down. Problem is this part is clipped, so if I pull the exposure, it's going to look weird where we just have nothing but clipped highlights here. But I think that's the direction I want to go. Let me stay with a 4x3. Can I fit? I can't fit everything in this way. Vertical would have been nice. Let's just crop in a bit here. Let me globally pull the exposure down. There is some recovery here. Okay, let's start there. And then I'm going to, I might have to go black and white, but let me just work in color for now. And I'm going to try and let me grab this. Okay. I just want to exaggerate these highlights here. I'll warm it up. There we go. It's a little bit under the car too. Okay. I push. I'm gonna have to do that part under the car separately. That warmer. Okay, that's a little bit too. Oh, we have that. Add a little bit more light back here. Just push the highlights. Get a little more warmth. Right there. Okay, these need to be brighter. Maybe some contrast. And here you maybe. Okay, same thing over here. And a little more warmth. Okay, and then these people, work on them. They have tiny bits of highlight here. I'm going to do a very tight chroma mask. Maybe a little bit of Luma just to make it look smaller there. And then the side of his arm, and then the same thing on this guy. Push, push. I know that looks bad, but bear with me. To adjust this, come back. A little bit of okay. Then let's make it warmer. Okay, so we just need to back off a little bit on some of these guys. More gradual. I need a separate one on him. Do a separate one. A little bit less though. Okay. Looks good. That looks good. Maybe touch there. Smaller. All right. That looks good. A little push in shadow maybe. Okay. I'm gonna cool off a couple of spots and then we'll call it. Uh, just in here. I'll back this off just a bit. So off that area. Maybe the black's a little cooler. All right. Another touch here. Maybe a touch of, oof, this water bottle needs a touch. Right there. That up. And give it some warmth. One. I think I'm done. All right, let me export that. Reset. All right. So yeah, so I just made the scene more dynamic, arguably a little more cinematic because of the orange and blues and teals. But I just had to crop out this car, and then over here there really wasn't much going on. So I cropped out this part, like this tree and this line was kind of bothering me. And then the sky is pretty much blown out. I could recover more clouds and things, but it would just look weird. So I'd rather than trying to recover this, I'm just gonna leave it kind of blown out, but then push the shadows around this blown out area to be brighter to match a little bit better with, the blown out highlights. Because that's the problem is, when you don't have that smooth gradation from, shadows to highlights, it can look weird. So I smooth out the transition of the shadows to highlights by pushing the shadows much brighter to be closer to what the highlights are, if that makes sense. And then just warming and cooling. So warming up the highlights and cooling off the shadows. And that's it. But yeah, that's a great image there. So if I do it this way, that's the before, and then looks like I did some perspective corrections. And I wanted to highlight the sun coming underneath the car a little bit and around the sides. But I think that looks pretty good. All right, let's end it with images that you guys edited my image. And go back to, I gotta find my image first. My original raw here. I'll make this the reference. Oh, I'm sorry. Norman sent one in. Like I said, this looks like it's already been edited, so I don't need to do anything, but it's nice. Horizon's a little bit crooked to me, but that can always be an illusion depending on how the coastline goes back into the distance, right? It might be perfectly level and it's just kind of an illusion of it being a little bit off. But it looks a little bit off to me, but maybe not. But yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful image. Uh I don't see anything. Let me see if there's any EXIF data. So this is f2.2. Oh, this was taken with an iPhone. Okay. Yeah, so nothing I would change here, really. I was like, this flare is really unusual. But then when I saw it was an iPhone, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Not that it's an artificial flare, but those tiny lenses make these flares it's very distinctive like this. But yeah, that looks good. Okay, so let's see. Here's the first one from Shakabe. And we have my original raw image here on the left. And this is what Shakabe did. Very nice. That's almost exactly what I did with my image, minus the white border. I'll show you my edit later. But yeah, this is the same exact crop that I did. And then let's see. This one is from, hard for me to see. This one's from Paul. Very, very similar to, I didn't give you guys a very challenging edit this week, right? Uh, but you went with a vertical 4x3, it looks like. And I think that works too. Because we got these very strong horizontals, right, with the log and the line here. Okay, good job there. And another one from Paul. This is the horizontal, very similar to what I did. Some brightening of the shadows. Didn't really work on the highlights here, it looks like, though. They're still kind of clipped. And Bert, okay, so Bert brought in the highlights. This is almost exactly like my edit. Almost exactly. But yeah, good job, Bert. I like it. And you also went with a vertical. This is almost exactly what I did, I'm pretty sure. And let's see. Uh Last one here from Jeff. Okay, Jeff. This is a little bit off center. Um I see. I think you're working with this little opening here. I didn't notice that before. But that's interesting. Okay, but and slightly muted as well. You didn't really push the colors at all. You kind of left it with the original raw, it looks like. But yeah, really good processing on the birds. They're very, very sharp. But okay, I think mine is where mine is. Um Hurry up. 1 second. My drives have to spin up. I think it's in here. Yeah, this was my edit. Oops. So I cropped square and left, very little headroom and foreground. And I brightened this up. I saw someone else did this as well. But, I tried to bring in the highlights. So, yeah, not a challenging edit. I feel bad I sent this one out. Okay. So that was pretty awesome. Let me catch up on the chat, and then we'll call it there. So, so Roger says we used this. So the truck, we used to, I think this is the truck. We used it for target practice when we were kids. The top of the hood was cream colored. It no longer exists, got towed away 50 years ago. Oh my goodness. My grandfather's supermarket dump truck from the 1940s. Wow. Wow. Well, it's great that you have a picture of it though, right? It's good memories. And Eric, oh, Eric came in. Good to see you. Anthony, oh, I got your email, Anthony. I'm sorry I didn't reply about the icebergs, but that's cool. That'll be cool when they come in. And Williamson, I sent new. Okay. I'll probably have to do it next week. For whatever reason, I'm a little bit low on steam today. I'm not sure why. Look at my hair. It's a mess. No reports. Oops, no reports of polar bears in the area. Keeping my fingers crossed. I'll be there right at the time of shoot. Yeah, and you got that new 150 to 600, right? So you should be able to get a good shot. And let's see. I'm just scrolling up here. And oh, Ish is asking for the edit. Yeah, just email me. Rob@robtrek.com. Tell me which picture it was, and I can send it back to you. Yeah, if anybody wants the edits that I do here, You know, I can email them back to you if you want. You just have to let me know. And Steve came in. Good to see you. And let's see. Roger says, nice job on the truck in color. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I thought that came out pretty good, the color truck. And let's Norman says, I do not think it was edited, but it is an iPhone photo I want to make larger. Okay. Uh, you would need to use something like Topaz Gigapixel. I mean, I don't use, and Photoshop has a enlarger as well. I've never used those things. I mean, I played with it a couple of times when they first came out, but I haven't touched them in a couple of years. But what you can do is try, if you have Photoshop, you can try and upscale it using Photoshop high res mode or something. It has some kind of mode in the neural. And then also Topaz has an upscaling. Now there may be others out there as well, but those are the two that I know of. And from what I hear is they do a good job. And then Jeff would like a copy. Okay, yep, I'll send it to you. That picture of the big bull is the Bull Ring Center in Birmingham. I happened to go there and took my EPL 7 and 14 to 42 kit lens with me. You know, I was looking at 2024, my most used camera and lens. And my most used camera by far was the Pen F with my most used lens, the 14 to 42 kit lens. And I mean, it was like around 3 or 4,000 images on that combination, and then the next one was 1,000 less. Next one down was my OM1 with the 300 millimeter f4. So that was my second most used combination. But I love the kit lens. I have it on my, well, not right now, but that's what I use on my OM3 now. Is the 14 to 42 kit lens. I use that a lot. So that'll probably be my most used combination for 2025 is the OM3 and 14 to 42 kit lens. And let's see, a little conversation between Jeff and Paul. Oh, you know, I didn't look at the that's right. I didn't look at the edits that you guys did to compare with what I did. We'll do that. Let me just finish the chat and we'll do that. Robert, you're going to compare your edit to our, yeah, sorry, Paul. I know. Let's do that real quick. I don't know why. Like I said, I'm a little low on Steam today. I don't know why. Let's see. So, oh, this is Shakab's edit. Wow. So, yeah, that's really nice. Very, very similar. Wait a minute. This is my edit of Shakab's photo. Hold on. I think this is Shakab's edit right here. Yeah, because it has the white border. So Shakab kept the whole thing, didn't do any horizon correction, but basically brought the shadows up. So here's my edit. And let me actually, you know what's better at comparing side by side is this, I forget what this is called, Fast Stone. So if I go in here and here and here and go into live streams right here. So here I can compare. So that's one. That's the original. So here we can compare. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. So here we can compare side by side. So here's Shakab's edit. So what I was saying was Shakab looks like he kept the whole frame. And then here's my edit. So we both did kind of the same thing, just brought the shadows up. I just tried to emphasize, the eyes, but I brightened everything around the eye too much. It'd have been better to darken it because the eye on Shakab's edit stands out more, I think. This is a little better edit here on the face, but I like how I did the copper tubing and stuff a little better on mine. Um, but yeah, okay. And then let's see. I sent one in. Oh, that's the original. I don't. This is my edit here. That might be Paul's. Let's see. So Paul, I think, looks like he kept a 4x3-ish kind of, or this is a 3x2. It looks like. And then this is my edit. So your edit, your image. See, I warmed up the colors. And you can see that quite a bit. Uh, but yeah, okay. So you kept a nice cool color, and I went warmer. But the crop is not too dissimilar. I just went 16:9. I think your seascape is a little better. You brought the highlights in more too. But I think white balance is the key difference between the two. Very similar edit on the sky in terms of contrast. Okay, let's see what else we got. Any other comparisons here? I don't see any. All right, so we're good, right? I think. So William says, I uploaded my edit of your ducks. Let me take a quick look again. Oh, yeah, there's one here. I thought I got that one. Almost exactly like mine, I think. So, so this is William's edit. Yeah, it's really similar to mine. It's square crop, just minimal headroom on the top and bottom. But very, very similar. So yeah, I just we didn't get quite as much variety this week, right? But yeah, good edit. Brought up the shadows. Very similar crop to mine, square crop. So yeah, we didn't get a lot of variety on the edits this week in terms of what I gave you. So I'll try and send you a better image next week. That image, it's tough for me to find an image to send you guys. I mean, I'm sure you guys struggle to figure out what to send me too, right? It's not that easy, is it? But yeah, I try to find something that has a lot of elements that can be edited. And this one had a couple of clipped highlights, maybe a little cropping, but that was it really. Um, and that goes to really how I normally shoot when I'm framing things. I make a very tight crop to begin with in camera, right? I fill the frame with the subject or the scene that I want. So there's usually not much cropping with my images, but it's usually a matter of exposure and color, going black and white, maybe those kind of things. And none of that really applied to this image, right? You didn't really have to crop. Going to black and white doesn't make any sense. And yeah, so I had another image I was thinking about that did I lose I had another image I was thinking about that The 4:3 crop. Oh, okay. God, see, I'm losing it. Uh, so William said 4:3 crop. It looked like a square crop. Maybe mine is a 4:3 too. I'm just not seeing it anymore. But yeah, I always try to send, and you guys always send me ones that need a lot of work. Not necessarily because they were a bad photo, but there's a lot of things I can do with it. Like the one of the street scene in Malaysia, um, the truck that got sent in, the very first one. There's a couple of that that I had a lot of things to choose from, just a little bit of cropping sometimes. So it's always fun to edit your images. So I try to give you something fun to edit that's one of mine, and I don't know why I gave you that one. That one's not that great. I'll think of something better next week. Um, what about sending us pictures to edit from the community? I cannot do, they're not my pictures to send, unfortunately. I can only send you mine, right? And I can send you the raws. The ones posted in my community, they're typically well, I'm sorry. You mean the ones that people upload for this stream? I would I don't know, they're just not my pictures to give out for other people to edit, right? But that would be interesting. Maybe we'll do a stream where I'll pick, like, you guys can email me rather than submitting it through the link. If you email me and say, "Rob, please give this to the community to edit," something like that, right? Where you give permission for people to edit your file, and then I can post the edits here. So that could be kind of a separate stream, right? Because this one's, I don't know. Either I'm really slow today because I didn't get that many images, maybe 10 images I edited today, and I'm running over 2 hours already. So what we can do is maybe do a separate stream, like, like take a lunch break for me, and then come back and do one where I show the edits that you guys did of your image, if that makes sense. So I'll you guys the people for the people that are here, you can email me your image if you want other people to edit it, like give permission to edit or whatever copyrights that you want to state. You can just copy the one that I use. Like you can use it for personal use basically, but you own the copyrights, right? Um, something like that. I'll have to think of the logistics of that. That could get messy, right? Because yeah, that could get messy. I think I'll just avoid that altogether. 'Cause you never know. I trust you guys here, right? All of you guys coming in here, I trust, but what's gonna happen is there's gonna be somebody's gonna come in with an image with a dozen attorneys behind him, submit the image to me to edit, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Because there are companies and organizations out there, they'll have like one person on staff that's not an attorney, but then the other dozen or 20 people that work in that office are attorneys. And they get that one person to do whatever, right? I've seen it. I've seen it. Okay. Where, yeah, these companies go out and really try to make trouble for people for no reason. I mean, they probably wouldn't come after me because it's like squeezing blood from a rock, but I don't need that kind of hassle. So, yeah, my email address, I'll just type it here. It's simple. It's rob@robdirect.com. But just email me. You guys can email me whatever you want. It's fine. I correspond with a lot of people here in the community, but yeah, I think I'll avoid doing that because I can give my images away. My images aren't worth anything. Uh, but yeah, taking someone else's images to be distributed, edited, and shown on my channel, that could be a big problem. Um, Not from you guys specifically, but from somebody that's looking for trouble, right? Trying to create trouble for me. So I think I'll just avoid that, and I won't know who they are, right? But okay, we'll call it there. So thanks so much for coming in today and sending your images. It's always a lot of fun. I'm sorry I was a little tired today for whatever reason, but I will be back on Sunday for a normal photography chat live stream. I hope to see all you guys there. Support my channel through memberships, donations, coffees, all of that good stuff. Subscribe, hit the like button. You know the routine. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.